Oh, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I notice as people speak, I think when you have been around for so long, people mix you up with other people, I think, Because when Honorable Kiraito talked about me having been rich in Kenyatta's time, I was a student in Kenyatta's time. So I pray and hope that the riches are still coming. But I was a student during Kenyatta's time, so there was no way I could have been rich. But I hope I was maybe rich in the future. He was foreseeing my future. And I hear people saying all sorts of things. So I was told to speak 3 memorable things about Raila and his human rights defense. That's very difficult. Three for a man like this. But I will still speak on 3. But how I have titled it, it's not going to be long. Raila Odinga, the Enigma, a human rights defender's journey. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow defenders of justice, comrades in the struggle, when we speak of human rights in Kenya, when we speak of resistance, sacrifice, and the courage to confront the machinery of oppression, one name echoes through every era: Raila Amolo Odinga. He has been called many things: a rebel, a liberator, a statesman, an enigma. But above all, he has been a relentless defender of the dignity and rights of the people. Today we honor a journey carved through fire, through prison walls, through public defiance, through prison walls, through through transformation, generational transformation. Allow me to reflect now on the 3 things which I call the legacy will forever stand tall. The fight for multi-party democracy. Shattering the chains of one-party rule, Raila did not oppose the fight for multi-party democracy. Shattering the chains of one-party rule, Raila did not just oppose dictatorship. He walked through straight into its jaws: detention without trial, torture, isolation, and we have heard Kiraito talk about that. Years stolen, yet his spirit remained unbroken. He rose to confront a system that insisted Kenya would remain a one-party state. And because he and fellow patriots refused to bow, Kenya reclaimed the right to speak, to organize, to challenge power. That victory opened the floodgates of activism in this country, political competition, and civic freedom. Without that fight, without those sacrifices, many of us would not even be standing here today. Then the second one is the 2010 Constitution, a people's shield, born of struggle. Raila will be remembered as one of the fiercest warriors behind the 2010 Constitution. Remember, there was the 2005, and that's how Orange Party was born, through orange and banana. You build a party through fruits, through something called orange, a referendum called orange and banana, but here we are. So what do I want to say about the 2010 Constitution? A defining human rights milestone. This Constitution gave us a justiciable Bill of Rights, independent institutions to check excesses, never mind that they are being abused. But the Chapter 15 institutions are what we must anchor and hold on to help us check the excesses of of our state leaders, whoever they are. Protection of marginalized groups and devolution. Power returning to the people. It was not a gift from the state. I think a lot of leaders, political leaders, think it's a gift for us to have a constitution or for us to have human rights. It was won through blood, tears, and resilience. And Raila was at the forefront. Today, the Constitution remains our most powerful tool against injustice, the sword and shield of every defender. My number 3 is the fight against electoral injustice. The 2017 election nullification history will not forget this. When Raila contested the 2017 presidential results, it was not merely a personal fight. I know I'm on time, but I'm being chased on time, but I just want to give one very short sentence. Just when the ruling happened, I was working for Greenpeace Africa, and I was going to a country I had never been to called Kazakhstan. I could not even pronounce it for the longest time as I was telling people this is where I'm going. And I was on the flight now, from the connecting flight now to Kazakhstan itself. And somebody sitting next to me asked me which country, oh, hello, how are you? Which country are you from? Those who travel, you know, there are people who like to talk a lot on the plane when you really want to sleep and keep quiet. And I just said, I'm from Kenya. This guy was a BBC journalist. If the plane is moving, he stood up and he said, congratulations, your nation has done something that has never been done. That was because of this win, which I'm just about to talk about, which I'm going to talk about now. The fight for the nullification of the election was not just Raila's fight. It was a fight for the sanctification of the Kenyan vote. Then came the earthquake. The Supreme Court nullified a presidential election. First time ever, not just in Kenya, in Africa. It sent a message across the continent. People's power is not negotiable. Sometimes we forget these little important things. We may not have won because it didn't go for the runoff, but the statement, people's power is not negotiable. You can try to steal it, but never mind how long it takes, we are going to get it back. Elections must reflect the will of the people. Institutions must obey the Constitution. That moment awakened a new consciousness that no injustice is too big to confront. Connecting his journey with ours. So now you've had somebody in a land called Kazakhstan is already congratulating me about a win. I was not even living in Kenya at that time. I was in South Africa. So I hadn't even voted in the 2017 election. But it was taken as if, wow, this is a global win for democracy for Africa. So connecting his journey with ours, and let me say this from my heart, as a human rights defender myself, I not only acknowledge, recognize, and appreciate Raila's sacrifices, I understand them. Because this work, this calling, it's not for the faint-hearted. Those of you who are here know who are human rights defenders. It demands courage, it demands endurance, it demands the willingness to stand alone when truth becomes dangerous. This journey is a relay, not a solo race. Each of us carries the torch for a moment in history. Raila carried his with fire, with courage, with defiance. And today we carry ours strengthened by the path he carved. Somebody talked about his boots, his footsteps. Even if yours are little, step into those because there are already footsteps there and you have been shown the direction. His endurance opened space for activism. His sacrifices paved a way for a freer Kenya. The legacy Raila Odinga, the enigma, will forever be remembered. Tearing down one-party dictatorship, championing for the 2010 Constitution, defending the electoral will of the people. This is not a small legacy. This is not a normal life. This is not a normal life. This is the footprint of a man whose story is inseparable from Kenya's struggle for freedom. And as we honor him, let us recommit loudly, boldly, fearlessly to the work ahead. There's so much work ahead, not just for the young people, for all of us as Kenyans. Human rights are never granted. They are won, they are defended, they are protected. Every single day, Raila played his part. We must play ours. And I'm not a poet, but there are 4 lines I have to say. For if freedom is fire, then every generation must bring its flame. And Raila's torch has lit the path. And now it's our turn to burn, our turn to rise, our turn to defend the dream.
Jerry, I love you too. Just channeling that poetry, and we are getting Professor Gumbe to the stage to be a giant, to do giant things, to take giant steps to move the world forward. I will not give you his bio because we are going to limit his time a lot.
Thank you very much. I think you've done a lot of injustice to me. I came here prepared with 17 pages to celebrate Raila Odinga, and now I have to compress it in a few minutes. Okay, my earliest memories of Raila Odinga is when I was about 10 years old. My parents and his parents had been neighbors in Kaloleni, Kisumu. And by that time, we had moved to Milimani, Kisumu. It was after independence, and I knew his younger siblings. And they would always talk about their two brothers, one called Uhuru and one called Aluo, who were in Europe, whom I'd never met. So when I was 10 years old, I think he must have been on holiday. I caught a glimpse of him. And his two sisters, Akinyi and Beryl Achieng, said, that is Raila. Those were my favorite people at that time, because Beryl taught me how to dance soul. You know soul music? Shaking your head. And Akinyi was the polite disciplinarian one.